Welcome back, people. It is season 4, episode 48 of the Taxi Squad podcast. The boys are back together again. Happy Thanksgiving. This is a Wednesday episode. We're recording it on a Tuesday. We've got a fair amount to get into today. Some strange and unusual topics to do with basketball, and then people suing each other's families. We got a college football just megasode to get into. And not only that, some football talk, and maybe, just maybe, discussions of Thanksgiving plans. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
Gobble, gobble.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now.
Kick back and relax for now.
They talk about sports and stupid stuff. They're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back. It's the Taxi Squad, yeah.
Vince, how we doing, bud? Good to see you.
It honestly,
good to see you.
being together changes everything.
It really does.
The whole dynamic's different.
It is.
I've seen you a lot this weekend. We've been through tribes. We've been through tribulations together.
Oh, yeah.
We've been through college football together.
Yeah.
It makes me yearn for the days when we lived in the same state so we can watch football together.
It is a joy.
It is a beauty. Welcome back to Chicago. It's cold out
man.
here. It's not Arizona weather out
I have
here.
a vest.
You do have a vest. Yeah. If you're not watching on YouTube, you can see the difference in our stylistic choices here. I look like I snowboard in the winter, and you look like you sell snowboards to clowns in the winter.
What's up, dude? What kind of board do you need? Burton or I don't know any other brand. So Burton it is.
Burton, I guess it is.
Burton it is.
We are not posting this on a Thursday, obviously, because that's Turkey Day. So this is coming out Wednesday, if you will.
Gobble, gobble.
So if you have to work Friday, you can also listen to this then. That's the beauty of this podcast.
That's what we do. We bring it.
How are you, bud? How are you?
Been some great slow reminders that the blood is in fact thinning.
Yes.
Right? The vest is on. Kind of got my cool dad holiday vibe going on.
Yeah,
here.
you're driving a minivan right now.
Yeah, because I didn't have a choice because it's what Avis had. I mean, what am I supposed to do? But I got a minivan.
Deal with it.
And wife and I are jamming around in a minivan. So could be worse things to deal with, right? But, I mean, we're just happy to be in person, to Vince's point. We've been through some trials and tribulations. Just cops coming, weddings, watching football, Mike taking a nap. I mean, just in the most Midwest fashion, just really enjoying the time together. But, I mean, Vince, let's give them a little bit of idea of what we've been through over the past 3 days, shall we?
Yeah, we went to a wedding. We watched a brawl. Let's just clear over that real quick. We watched Notre Dame win.
Notre Dame didn't, in fact, which we will talk
which
more
we'll
at
get
length.
to.
But should we talk about our Great Escape?
Sure.
Let's talk about the Great Escape.
Talk about it, baby.
Wonderful wedding.
Yeah.
Right? Great wedding.
Yep.
Celebrated our friends.
Yep.
Had a lovely time. Family's there. Everybody's there. Night ends. We don't know what's going on.
So Italian.
Just cops. There's shit going on outside of the venue.
There's hands.
There's an ambulance. We come out. I don't know what's going on. I'm a little shingad.
No, very. Actually, I should tell this story because I drank responsibly, knowing that I was driving home that PM.
What's that about?
Mike was staying at the hotel, so he didn't. And that, goddamn it, you're supposed to do that. It's your friend's wedding. You were in it. You were looking beautiful.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, Mike walks out. I say, "Hey, man, let's get out of here." You say, "Okay." And you have a couple 2-3 conversations with the police officer. You go.
I just said what happened.
You go in. You grab your wife. We bolt out of there. It wouldn't be an Italian wedding without at least one police officer confrontation, and we're better because of it, and that's okay.
We did the backdoor sneak out maneuver.
Okay,
right?
Maniscalco coming in.
Backdoor. Get out of town.
And then I went through the back door.
Great segue, by the way, because that leads us to our first strange and unusual topic. So
you're going to go through the back door.
So Vince and I, right, we are trying to find strange and unusual topics as we do this, right? So as the week progresses, we're like, okay, let's do some digging. So we did some journalistic prowess and did some digging. The 76ers, as you know right now, especially if you pay attention to basketball, not very good at
They're
basketball.
booty.
But boy, is their marketing team making moves.
Yep.
So, Vince, I don't know if you have a graphic.
I'm going to put it right here.
Vince is going to put it right here. But
Yep.
basically, in the grand scheme of things, they're trying out a new graphic. It was the Spectrum jerseys, this new release of jerseys. That
Throwbacks, yep.
Yeah, the throwbacks to the 70s of these jerseys that are pretty legit, pretty swaggy, one would say, kind of like Mike in his vest with the lavalier.
Some would say that, yeah.
Or Vince looking like a chill guy, Just
I'm just a chill guy.
Put him up to the right corner. But the final graphic gets released, and instead of saying final, the F and the I blended together in that fun font to make it A-N-A-L, which
spells
anal. So, with that, Vince, either the marketing team realizes the team sucks that bad, or just maybe, they just wanted to have a good time because I think they know the team sucks that bad.
Doing like a limited amount of graphic design, like very limited amount myself for things such as this. In a font like this, you probably should put spaces between the letters. But also, like, this is a graphic design faux pas, if you will. I believe that they did it, and granted, they post the final scores very quickly after the game to make sure everybody's informed, all of that true. I think they did it. Someone looked at it and they laughed, and they're like, screw it, just put it up there.
Just put it up.
It is like, that is the font. Like, you can't get mad at them for saying it. Now, it is crazy. It is crazy how much it looks like anal. There's really no way for you to see that it doesn't look like anal.
If you look far away, you might see the final.
Yeah.
But, like, you get up in person.
But you also know that it says final, too.
It could also say
it clearly says final, but it definitely says anal. I just, respect to them. Maybe because they're playing like anal this year. That's the reason that they put that there. So you might be right about that. But, God bless having a little bit of fun. Anybody that has an issue with this, whoopsies. Anybody who doesn't have an issue with it, you're in the right side of history. That's kind of how I feel about that.
The world automatically is losing its sensitivity.
Yep.
And we love the world because of that.
Make sure you go out the back door. That's all
Make sure you go out the back door is that. And speaking of going out of doors, you know what's going out of doors, Vince?
What?
Baker Mayfield's relationship with his family.
Oh.
You might as well just throw it out the front door at this point.
Thanksgiving's going to be this year.
Yeah, this is going to, if you have any sort of rips or rifes with a drunk uncle or a drunk cousin or maybe a sibling, because it is the year of the siblings, you may know that you don't like all of them all the time, but boy, do you love them. But Baker Mayfield may be in a different predicament right now. So with all of that being said, Baker Mayfield right now is in the process of suing one of the companies ran by his family, being his brother and his father.
Camwood Capital Management Group.
For stealing $12 million worth of funds of his, unbeknownst to him.
Between 2018 and 2021.
Wow. This, okay, first and foremost, how do you realize it now?
Yeah.
And has this been an ongoing issue? I think that is the biggest thing.
It was probably small amounts in different capacities. But, this isn't like his cousin owns it and he just put his trust in him because he's like a money manager. His dad's a senior managing director. His brother's a managing director. They took money from their private accounts and moved it to Team BRM accounts and then moved it to accounts under their own control. So they took it from Baker's personal accounts to Baker's professional accounts to their company's professional accounts over to their own personal ones that they control. They confronted the family after they figured it. They tried to hide the transfers, invented fictional explanations for their actions, and the lawsuit claims that in the reality, the money was taken with no plan or ability to repay it. So, absolute scumbags. Beyond scum. Like, what are we doing here? It's his dad. His dad and his brother. Like, we both have a father and we both have brothers or brother. How do you do this? How do you have the lack of care is obscene?
It's greed, really, right? One of the seven deadly
beyond
sins.
Greed over family is crazy.
It's horrible.
I partially get it if it's like friends or business partners or something. Family, bud?
family?
What are we doing?
I mean, this is the type of family you got to be worried about.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the holiday episode.
Welcome to Texas.
That could potentially just take the fillings right out of your teeth. Or that one goofy drunk aunt that stays over at your parents'
Who takes
house.
the fillings right out of your turkey.
Right? Or something along those lines. You make sure you hide all the jewelry in the house because you just don't know if you're going to get it back.
Yeah.
Also, one more thing. Everybody gets a nice idea of how much Mike can talk with his hands because we don't have microphones in front of us, and I don't know what to do with my hands.
I would call that overcompensating.
I don't know what to do with these right now.
Put them down. You want to know what makes it worse?
What's that?
Thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it.
He's thinking too much about it.
I'm thinking about it. I'm letting everybody know.
And if you're watching on YouTube, just look at those hands. These are my hands. I'm going to keep them probably down here like usual.
Let these fingers fly.
Yeah, I can't believe this. I truly can't believe this. This is obscene. 134 million he's made in his career.
Okay, let's take a thought about that. Or do we think they're staying together for the holidays this year? Or do you think Baker's just going to a steakhouse and saying, fuck it?
Or like he's with his mom or something. Maybe there's a divorce situation and brother and dad own this company. No way. This is beyond, I think the monetary value of you be able to like forgive your brother is in the hundreds. Not the thousands, let alone the millions of dollars. Fuck that. Fuck them. They don't deserve it. And also, you guys aren't as successful as your son. Get over it. Don't be petty little bitches and stop stealing their money. That is stupid baby boy behavior, and they're pieces of shit. That's inexcusable. That's inexcusable.
I mean, Baker's dogging this year, having a career
year.
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield. He's doing the Tommy DeVito when he scores.
Which was fantastic. I don't know if anybody got a chance to see that, to Vince's point.
I love him.
He hit an aggressive one of these after he scored like his third touchdown. And then Tommy DeVito's injured already.
Yeah.
Was the Italian, like, just absolute savior last year for the Giants?
For like 2 games.
Because they thought Danny Dimes was actually something. He's already released.
Danny Dimes not on a team yet.
Exactly. Well, he's not going to be on a team.
Yes, he will.
Who's going to sign him?
He is better than most backup quarterbacks in the NFL.
I don't believe it.
How?
Because he sucks.
No, he doesn't suck that bad. He's not a starting quarterback, but he's definitely a backup quarterback.
The fact that you can say that he sucks that bad kind of means that he sucks that bad.
Yeah, but any backup quarterback you wouldn't start. Name one backup quarterback you would start in the NFL right now.
Start?
Yeah, name one backup quarterback.
How many games? What's the situation?
Over Daniel Jones. Let's say that. Name a backup quarterback you would start over Daniel Jones.
Over Danny Dimes?
Yeah, outside of Justin Fields.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Well, see, you can't just give it a caveat.
Well, because Justin Fields started in the season, the beginning of the season.
Oh, so we're playing that game.
Yeah, anybody that hasn't started a game this year that you would do.
Okay.
Agent?
You read my mind. Almost like we know each other.
No way!
Dude, I would start Tyson. I would put good money on it because he's done it.
Daniel Jones is more talented than Tyson.
Dude, Daniel Jones didn't throw a touchdown pass at MetLife Stadium in 2 years. What the fuck are you talking about? How can you say that happened?
Aaron Rodgers barely has either, and he's...
Well, Aaron Rodgers is very old.
Danny
Dimes is young. So is Tyson Bagent. Tyson Bagent also wins on the cool factor because his dad is a professional arm wrestler.
Yeah, his dad annoys me.
Well, his dad's kind of like Big AJ. Speaking of Big AJ...
Don't ever do that to Big AJ.
Because we're bringing the boom!
I respect them so much. I went, dude, pendulum-wise, the Costco guys, the universe that they built, I've gone from, this is insane, I hate this, to,
I'm still there.
I love this.
Hate it.
It is so funny.
It's the worst.
It's so funny.
Now he's a wrestler?
He was a wrestler. He was a wrestler.
For who?
He was a local or a Florida-based or something wrestler. What, you can't let people pursue their dreams? What do you think we're doing right now?
Well, I understand
You're being
that.
so anti...
So do we need to become the Aldi guys?
No.
And I'll wear a goofy hat and we'll give stuff vrooms as opposed to booms?
I like what we're doing right now, to be honest.
Me too. Yeah, I prefer it. We're authentic.
They went to AEW. The Rizzlers walk out 10 out of 10. Maybe 11 out of 10.
He didn't know where to go.
I know. It was awesome.
So cute.
And he comes out and you're like, oh my God, he's so tiny. He's just a tiny little guy.
Just like both of us combined.
I love it.
Fatness at that age.
100%. Just little baby fat boy.
Just little baby.
And out of all respects, out of coming from one to another.
Oh,
I like to make that clear. I'm not hating on the kid. I'm actually respecting the kid.
We're two former fat kids. If the internet is around, do you think they would show our prowess of hammering chicken bakes and double chunk cookies?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
And Big AJ breaks his foot in the ring. Fun fact.
Is it real?
Still finished the show. What an absolute legend. What a legend. I love him.
Is it confirmed? Did we get the X-ray results? Are we on Big
I don't think the
AJ's,
AEW is
athletic?
big on making sure that they post the X-ray results before you start your AEW fantasy lineup the next week. Like, I think they'll get to it when they get to it.
Hey, I didn't play fantasy football this year.
Yeah,
that's
true.
why.
That's true.
I mean, that is 100% correct.
That might be why I'm beating you in picks this year.
Oh, Vince took the crown this week. We'll get into that. Let's get into it. So let's talk a little bit about college football.
Shall
Back
we?
to the point. The boys did in fact have a weekend.
Yes, we did.
We had a little fun. We had a good little time. We drank
couple
a little vino.
too many wines. Oh,
yeah,
come
no,
on,
it's fine.
come
It's
on.
fine. Sometimes I'm just a chill guy who drank a little too much wine. Takes a
You need to
nap.
stop with this.
Takes a nap.
You love the chill guy.
I do love the chill guy. By the way, if you're on the internet and you haven't found the chill guy yet, highly
I'm
recommend
sure
it.
they have.
Just
I'm sure
saying.
they have.
No yawning, Vince. Don't
Okay,
yawn.
damn,
We're getting
Jesus.
going. Got some
I
coffee.
just drank a
We're good to
cappuccino.
go.
Or a
So with that,
espresso.
boys had a time this weekend. So we saw a lot of games. We're going to get into a bunch right now. But kicking off this weekend, the University of Indiana played Ohio State in the shoe, and that didn't work out too well for them.
You know what? Ohio State might be pretty good.
Yeah?
I think
think so?
I think they might be pretty good.
I got to admit it.
Couple games. I don't think you even had to get me to admit it. I think Ohio State.
Now Vince hates them.
I don't like them. I don't think they're going to win the national championship. I think they're pretty good.
I never said they're going to win it.
Indiana's defense couldn't do shit. In the beginning, they could. It looked like, okay, cool. We're getting somewhere. 2 TDs in the second quarter. I placed a bet on Indiana to win before the game. It was obviously not going to happen, but the odds were good. I think I got like plus 310 on it. The odds were right. The odds are what they are because they know it. So I just donated that to the No Free Ad Sportsbook. Yeah, they didn't play that well. Clearly, this was going to happen. Indiana doesn't really lose too much off of this. And also, the SEC might have saved them from maybe getting a playoff berth still.
Yeah, the SEC this weekend was interesting, which we'll get into that.
Because the conversation was they're going to lose their bid if they lose this week, which I get because you already got Oregon, you get Ohio State, and then a lot of things happened with the SEC that were very unexpected this weekend that kind of reopened it for them. So,
who expects, for example, Ole Miss, after 2 weeks in a row of just playing lights-out football.
They're too hot.
Right? Beats Georgia at home, then just wally-wops at Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
And then now they go to the swamp and play Florida, this very sneaky team who did stick very closely to Georgia for about 2 quarters, being the first half, about 2 weeks ago. Vince and I were together in Arizona for that. We were both very surprised that was even the case. But you look at this game.
Remember when he told everybody on this podcast that Billy Napier got fired and he just didn't get fired?
He's the comeback guy of the century. For almost getting fired to now coming back.
I thought he got fired too for like 2 weeks.
Hey, when you believe something enough, it does become 100%, a reality.
100%.
So with that, we do look at this right now, especially this game, and you just kind of look at Lane and go, where did the offense go? Because they could only put up 17 points in 4 quarters, and it just got to a point where you're like, maybe Florida is that comeback team of the year.
No,
they're not going to get a
they're
playoff
just world
berth.
beater. Like, they'll get up on a big game and win
This is the joy of college football. Similar to NIU beating your Fighting Irish in week 3, right?
That was week 3, first off. And if we want to go loss for loss, we can do that.
No, I don't.
That's up to you.
No, okay.
You're making the decision here.
Mm-mm.
We can go loss for loss if you want. Ole Miss flew too close to the sun. They were really hot. They had to be so hot on themselves coming into this week. And they're like, Florida's not that good. This is a classic. We beat the good teams. And then a team that we probably underestimate doesn't play well. I think it helps as well that they had that old Wisconsin guy at quarterback, Graham Mertz, in the beginning of this year. Florida did. He's not a good quarterback. We've known that for quite a long time. So the fact that got figured out, and now they come in, they play Florida with DJ Langway, who wasn't amazing, but definitely better than Graham Mertz.
2 touchdowns, 180 yards, threw a pick, one less pick than Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart is kind of Jameis Winston light.
He kind of is.
He's gonna come hell or high water. He's gonna throw the ball.
Hey,
he's gonna throw.
He's gonna throw.
Yeah.
He's also gonna run.
Yeah.
Led the team in rushing, 14 carries, 71
Fast young
yards.
Man.
Got popped a couple 2-3 times too many.
Yeah.
And then not only on top of that, I do think put his team in a couple different positions where he did give the ball away to the other team.
If you're gonna game, you're gonna game, baby.
If you're gonna game, you're gonna game. This game went down to one possession when you can't score in the fourth quarters as a Rebels team that is down almost, a touchdown at that stage.
That doesn't depend on their defense either, because they're going to have to if they put themselves.
The problem is they have two of the best defensive edge rushers in the game right now.
Yeah, I know, but their secondary is not great.
Yeah, and the secondary, I believe, is the real problem.
Yeah.
So when we look at the overall outcome of this game, definitely doesn't help Ole Miss's chances, and we'll see if they even get the nod to a playoff berth. They're definitely going to have.
They're close. We were talking like 2 weeks ago about having 4 SEC people or teams in the playoff, and now it's reasonable to have 2.
Now, in my eyes, if they go in to Mississippi State and rout.
Mississippi State might be the worst team in college football.
Yeah, considering what happened, because when you lose to Mizzou, chances are that's not the ideal situation.
Mississippi State is so bad. They might be good in like 2 years. Their team is not good right now.
I mean, they looked like they were going to hang with Mizzou for a little bit, but then
Mizzou's also bad.
Yeah, but Mizzou, to the point, loses to South Carolina last week in an absolute heartbreaker. And that's a
low
team
key,
coming
kind
back.
of the same as Florida.
Yeah, maybe.
Kind of the same as a little bit better, but like
just table runners.
I mean, they beat Wofford or whatever it is. So
let's
the comeback.
Let's talk about another team that's potential, like just we're gonna ruin the dinner table, i.e. Thanksgiving. Let's look at a team like Minnesota. Who just barely squeaks by.
The Gophers.
The Gophers, who barely squeak by, just absolutely just a nail biter against Penn State at home. And they're a very tough team to beat at home. And I think this shows it because you look at this team, for example, Minnesota, and they've played a lot of pretty good teams this year close at home. I'm not going to use Iowa as an example, but if we do look
who's also bad.
Yes. Well, if we do look at USC, for example, who going into that game was supposed to be something big, and then played Penn State the week after and played them really close, we should have had an understanding that this would have been the case. Now, Vince, I guess.
Wait, did they beat USC or they lose them?
Penn State beat USC.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Minnesota. I got you.
So did Minnesota.
Oh.
So
I thought you were trying. No, I thought you were trying to do like a reverse tug off, and I wanted to call
no reverse tug. We lost to both of them.
Okay, cool.
And
cool.
they may just be that team in the Big Ten that just sneaks by and potentially beats you. But
6-5,
Penn State,
just like Florida, they're the Florida of the Big Ten.
They are the Florida of the Big Ten. So what's so funny is each conference has their team
for sure.
Now, speaking of this, Vince. We got a chance to see the start of that Notre Dame Army game.
So I wasn't gonna say anything about it, hoping that you would bring it up because so little inside baseball right now. Not really on the sheet, kind of looking for it. I'm like, I don't see anything about the Notre Dame game here. Ranked versus ranked, we have to talk about it. Notre Dame's top 5. Notre Dame's a top 5 team right now. Notre Dame went in and gave Army the business. And I didn't expect that so much as I took a bet that Army was going to stay within 14. And they didn't. And unfortunately, I am fucking jazzed. We're at a point where I'm going to get so upset when they lose. I'm going to get so upset, dude. This is bad.
So you mean when they lose to an SEC school? In the playoffs, you're going to be really mad?
As long as they don't lose to a Big Ten school coming up here, I'll be fine. They don't throw the ball, and you don't need to throw the ball. Riley Leonard takes care of the ball. Riley Leonard wins the game. Jeremiah Love is fast and good. And I think that all things considered, 2-3 big plays in the air every game. You have a running back that can run the ball. Riley Leonard runs the ball. We're good. All this being said, Army hasn't played anybody. Army was a fun Cinderella story this year. They were 18th in the nation. They are better than the majority of the teams in college football. but they gave them the business. The business. Like, we watched the first half, and it was like, this game is so over already. And I'm fine with it. I think USC is going to be a hard game.
Really?
I do.
Oh, let's go preview now.
I'm fine with that.
Shall we go preview now?
Yeah. Notre Dame plays USC. This is like the Taxi Squad, like.
This is the Taxi Squad Super Bowl.
It's the game.
Unfortunately, it's not this upcoming Saturday.
Well, because we don't have any other teams that we root differently against.
Correct.
The only teams that we root differently against is the oldest rivalry in college football.
And he recently became a college football fan. When? A year ago?
I wasn't not a college football fan.
Let's put it a year ago.
I wasn't not a college football fan. I've always been a Notre Dame fan. But I wasn't, like, following it this obsessively. Like, I knew, like, I watched the Alabama-Notre Dame National Championship. I've been following them. I know the whole Brian Kelly year is. Like, I'm in on all of that. I just haven't been, like, I wonder what the score of the Kentucky versus Wofford game is. Or, like, you know, like, those, like, the obsessive
But the big games on the weekend are worth it. The big weekend games are tremendous.
I agree. I take back a lot of what I said in the first 2 years. I didn't even say it negatively. I just said it wasn't really for me. I like college football. I still think the NFL is way better, but I like college football. I know you do, and that's why we're beautiful, and that's why we're friends, because we're allowed to have different opinions.
No.
All that being said, Notre Dame, by all intents and purposes, is a better team than USC. This is a throw out of the record books. Play the game for what it is game. Every year, regardless of what's going on.
Sure about that?
I am 100% sure that they're a better team. I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but I'm 100% sure about that they're a better team. You're not playing for anything. This is your Super Bowl, literally.
It is.
If we lose this game, then we're kind of screwed going into the playoff. We're probably not going to make it. If we win this game, we go to the playoff. If you win this game, you're playing world beater, and you can talk shit to me. If you lose it, well, yeah, we're a worse team. That's like, you don't have any. This is lose for me, dude.
So let me preface something. I will say that Notre Dame has proven me wrong time and time again this year. I do believe that they're a very good football team. Do they play a lot of elite competition? The answer is no. So when they do finally get the opportunity to play a team that has played some very good teams close this year, being Mike's USC Trojans.
Yeah.
This is something that I look at the game and the opportunity to go put it all out on the field and play your hearts out one last time against the top 10 team in the country. This is our
also oldest rival of all time.
And the oldest rivalry in college football. Next to Alabama and Georgia, or some of those early SEC schools. So when we look at this game, I am absolutely hyped. A part of me wishes I wasn't leaving Friday, but then again, life. So with that, we do look at this game, and Jordan Mailata is playing his face off.
Yep.
And, Lincoln knows quarterback. So I will say, going into this now, I feel a little bit more comfortable because he played a close game against UCLA, which a lot of people are like, you were worried about.
Yeah,
I get it.
Kind of what I think.
But it was a battle for California since the schools are this far apart from this far apart from each other.
Right.
So when the schools are up the street, it's going to be another rivalry. Pac-12, right? Yep. So that game was close. USC comes back fourth quarter. We love to see it. Now this game coming up, USC gets them in a rematch from last year where Caleb Williams notably went into South Bend and in fact shit the South Bend bed. It was not good. A lot of people thought that he wasn't worth it after that and going to be a bust at the next level.
That was the last time I ever said negative words about Caleb Williams. Because I did for a little bit.
Yeah, he was talking a lot of shit.
He came in and I was just like, what happened to your boy? What happened to beautiful baby boy?
He just had a bad game.
Dude, Notre Dame's defense played him correctly.
And that is this.
That's the scary
preparation factor where you look at what's your handsome head coach's name?
Marcus Freeman.
Marcus Freeman prepares very well for other opposing offenses. Now Lincoln Riley opposes that side, and seeing him twice now, I do believe it's going to be a different scenario because I do feel as if after Lincoln sees you once, he gets enough tape on you.
Notre Dame's defense is considerably better than they were last year. And they have a bunch of returning seniors. Yeah, dude.
Well, I will say that Kennedy Urlacher, that guy's going to play.
And he's not even playing every game. I know, he's like a freshman. Yeah, he's a young man. He's playing like slot corner, and then like he's not in a lot. Xavier Watts is an absolute
like his daddy.
dog. Yeah, the defense is chugging right now. Now USC is going to air it out a lot more than what we've seen in the last couple of weeks for sure. So secondary is going to be tested. And also we have a young offensive lineman, but I'm not really afraid of USC's defense. Excuse me. It's a throw the record books out game. Every single time USC and Notre Dame plays, it does not matter what's going on the rest of the season. You get up and you play this game. So that's kind of what it's like, obviously the Packers are going to beat the Bears every time, but it's Bears-Packers. Doesn't matter if the Bears are horrible and the Packers are good or vice versa. Like, this is a game that they want to play just to beat the rival. That is the full situation. Doesn't matter. This is different than USC playing, I don't know, like Minnesota or like, Illinois State or something like that. It's the same thing with like Notre Dame playing Army, like as much as it was, like they're probably more hyped to play USC than they are to play Army because it's USC and you can't lose the USC, especially this year. That's a black mark on the resume. So it'll be an exciting game. I'm really not looking forward to it.
Why? Why aren't you
it makes me feel gross because you don't have anything to lose. You have nothing to lose. You're walking in here. You've already gotten through the sadness of like not being as good as you wanted to be this year, and now you're like,
okay, time out. What was the projections for USC this year?
Expectations
wasn't a playoff.
Expectations weren't very high, right? But the beginning of the season was difficult, and they've been better in the last couple weeks.
We put ourselves at an immediate disadvantage when everybody had LSU slated at 9 to start the year.
Yeah.
And, I mean, let's face it, Florida State was slated at what, 5?
Yeah, you guys got to like 9 or something this year.
Yeah, we were all the way up to 9 after beating the 9th-ranked team, and then LSU gets driven out, and then we could see Crying Brian doing what he does.
He's such a joke.
He is probably going to be in Death Valley next year. Let's face it.
He's so bad.
If we look at this matchup, though, I think this is time, to Vince's point, that we got to really show up. It's a home game. I think it's going to be close. I don't think there's going to be a ton of scoring. I like Riley Leonard as a quarterback. We don't necessarily.
I like him as a running back.
Well, to my point, we don't necessarily do well with the running quarterback, which I do fear a lot.
He's also a break tackle merchant, which USC is a break tackle.
We don't tackle well.
Yeah.
We've gotten better, if that makes it any worse, but we don't tackle well.
Yeah.
So during this game, I'm excited to watch. I am fearful, though, that Notre Dame may start to break away in the second half.
Please.
Your thoughts?
Because that's what they do. They keep it close, quarter and a half. They score, and then they get the ball back at halftime, and then suddenly it's 38-7. And you're like, how did this happen? They're not playing that well, and they end up winning. So I hope that happens again. I understand that they're not as good as the rest of the college football like playoff situation right now, or a lot of teams in college football, but they figure out a way to win, and I hope they continue to do that. And also, they haven't lost any games that they really have to get up for this year because they've only lost one, and they underestimated their opponent, and I don't think they're going to do that again. I've been going under the guise that the best thing that happened to Notre Dame this year was losing to Northern Illinois on a random week in, September? That's the best thing that could have happened to them because they're not undefeated, and they know any given Saturday, some clown-ass program that you paid to come in here and do it can beat you. So don't underestimate them.
They paid them $4 million.
Yeah, and then it happened the next week with like
$4 million?
Another team did that like the next week too, and it was just like, stop underestimating these programs. I think they were like, oh. And Marcus Freeman even said it. He's like, we talk about that every week. We talk about how ridiculous that loss was, and we're not going to have another one. And I think that's good. So as far as motivation is concerned, they have to win the game.
Notre Dame's pretty good.
They're a better team. They have to win the game.
This is what we do love about the 12-team playoff.
Fuck, dude. I'm just thinking about you winning the game and coming in next week.
I'm not going to do anything.
What happened? Oh, what happened to you? I thought you're fighting Irish.
It's my job to bust balls, is it not?
I know, but you always end up winning these battles.
I did nothing but show up and be a fan.
You always end up like accidentally just stumbling into winning these things, and I'm always losing these things. So like, I'm concerned.
The beard bet because you bet a terrible Bulls team?
I know, but even so, it's like picks when we go like 1 against 1, and then you're like, I don't know, maybe I'll just give this a shot. That always ends up winning. You do. I mean, granted, I'm winning the competition right now.
This could be a fun one.
But you got a little bit of a horseshoe up your ass when it comes to these types of things.
This could be a fun one.
What would be?
Okay. So.
Oh, you want to bet on this because you keep winning all of the bets.
No.
So no. I'm saying I actively
we both
don't
take
want
$20 and we put it on our respective teams.
Yeah, easy.
Okay.
Money line.
Yeah. All right.
Let's...
Whoever wins, right?
Yeah.
Whoever wins the bet also takes the 20 on top of what you bet.
Okay.
So $20 gentleman's bet. So if you lose, there's a total of $40. You're just out. Right?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
You know what the line is right now?
What's the line?
275.
Okay.
Spread -3.
So you win.
Close.
I'll send you 20. And if I win, regardless of my odds, because I'm taking all the risk here, you also, if I win, that 20 will be stacked on top of my already big
You're
earnings.
going to make a lot if they win.
That's what I'm saying. I'm in it to win it.
I put $20 down. I win $23.
Doesn't matter. No, technically you'd win 43, Vince, because I'm stacking the odds in your favor because that's the bet, right? So we're not shaving or growing.
I'm okay with that.
Right? It's not like I'm saying, hey, you can't shave your pubes for a year. No, I'm saying,
yeah, I'm a single man. I can't do that at all.
Can't do that. He's not Amish.
That's sexual suicide.
But what we are going to do is put a little sweat on this, so we both got a little.
I'm already sweating, dude.
I sweat just because I could sweat peeling an orange.
Yeah.
But to the point, we put a little bit of a friendly wager on this to make it even more fun. And there it is.
All right.
You were here for the Thanksgiving Taxi Squad Notre Dame USC.
Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble.
God,
all right.
Damn it.
No,
I don't even know why
you want to know what
that.
another, like, just out there landish thought process was of a team going into Norman, Oklahoma.
That was a wild,
first year
wild
in the USC.
Let's
the SEC. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
OU comes out of nowhere and just stomps on Bama at home. Bama's first time ever playing at good old Gaylord Stadium out there in Norman, Oklahoma, which is truly just a magical place to watch a football game.
Venable, man.
Does this save Venable's job?
No.
No? I think it does.
I don't know, dude. Oklahoma.
I think OU does this once a year. They go in and they shit stomp a team they had no business doing this to.
Alabama's not that good. Alabama's record. Alabama's current ranking 7-3. Their current ranking, or they're 8-3, excuse me.
See?
Is not like they're not playing the way that Alabama usually plays. I think they're getting like recency, like legacy bias. I do. Jalen Milroe has these games, and he's had a couple of these games this year. And I think Saban defensively was able to stop teams like this. Oklahoma's offense didn't do
teams like this. Jackson Arnold.
That's what I'm saying. They're usually like stomp him in the ground, don't let him score, and then Saban can win this game 10-3. But that defense couldn't stop a minor league. Oklahoma, second, third quarter, just took care of business, and Alabama couldn't move the ball. They're still probably going to make the playoff because SEC bias and Alabama bias is crazy.
If that's the case, I'm not.
And if they do, it is such horseshit.
I'm not a fan. I will not be a fan.
Such horseshit. I'm so sick of them too, and it's just like, this is clear as day that we're done with Alabama. Where are they at the AP poll? That would be the big thing.
They're ranked currently.
They're 13th.
Oh, they're 13th.
They're 13th now,
Okay.
Which is good. So as long as they don't end up making it, and this is my whole thing with the SEC. You're looking at Texas is going to make it, most likely. Georgia's going to make it. Tennessee probably going to make it. That's it. You'll have 3 teams in the SEC. That sounds about right this year. A lot of people were saying that 6 of the 12 teams could have been SEC teams. And I'm sick of that because the Big Ten is just as good as a conference as the SEC is. I don't care what anybody says. And this is what everybody says all the time. Look at the teams. Now, I'm not saying last year. I'm not saying the year before. I'm saying it's closer now than it's ever been.
That was the point of the 12-team playoff. Now, whether or not we get to the playoffs and it's all for nothing.
Oregon's 11-0, man.
Unless a team, like, for example, like an Oregon now comes in and surprises everybody.
Yeah.
Dan Lanning has been arguably probably going to win the AP Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
And what he's done with that Oregon team with a Dylan Gabriel, who I do believe is not the guy.
Yeah, but you keep saying that, and they keep winning.
The Wisconsin game, I've done more research, and I think, and I can come back and correct myself. They played like 4 road games in a row.
Yeah.
And that was number 4 for them. And in college football, and I don't care in college or professional sports, that's a very difficult thing to do, especially when you're in Oregon, Wisconsin, Oregon. You know, you're traveling from, you know, the far Pacific Northwest to now the Midwest and South. It's a lot different. So it definitely takes it out of you. And I do believe they were a little tired. But I do really enjoy what Dan Lanning's doing with that football team.
He's good, man.
He's a very good head coach.
Have you seen his interviews?
Yeah,
he's the man. I would run through a brick wall for that man.
Back to the OU Sooner game. I mean, Jackson Arnold had nothing to do with this win other than going 9 of 11 for 68 yards. They ran the ball and they played defense.
Yeah.
Jackson Arnold had 25 carries for 131 yards. They might have been fucking Navy out there just playing.
I was like, you want to know who that sounds like is my boy.
Yeah, right.
It sounds like a Riley Leonard
game next to Riley Leonard.
Sounds a hell of a lot like him.
When you look at the overall outcome of this game, you probably just simply look at it and go, okay, they got the best of them, and Alabama didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
So I ultimately look at it and say, hey, look at what Saban did against a Lincoln Riley-led OU team in a playoff game. Was the Sugar Bowl. And let's just say Jalen Hurts got pretty messed up that game.
Yep.
So this was a nice revenge game. Defensive touchdown, old school football, ground and pound. Not a lot of passing.
Alabama fraud.
Does this mean Jalen Milroe does not get drafted because he had a terrible game with 3 interceptions?
One game? No.
Well, a couple different games.
I don't think he's – I've retained this opinion too for a while. I don't think he's first round. Talent.
So you believe who I reserve my issues with, a.k.a. Cam Ward.
Yeah.
You give that comp to Jalen Milroe.
I don't think
which I'm starting to believe more so in.
Cam Ward?
Yeah. Cam Ward, I believe, far more.
He's pretty good.
He's pretty good at football.
That's what I was saying. I think his talent isn't first round because I think he has kind of a propensity to clam up when it's the most important times to not clam up. I think an NFL team overreaches like usual. Let's do a thought process.
The Raiders, they're going to be sitting there.
Raiders.
They're going to be sitting there at like 4 and be like, who can we reach for?
If they don't get one, Minshew's out for the season. How many first-round drafted quarterbacks do we get this year?
Oh, it's going to be a reach. I think easily 3 to 4.
I think talent-wise, you got 1, maybe 2.
Talent-wise, 1, maybe 2. A lot of analysts are saying, like Mel Kiper, Todd. They are saying that this is the most overrated quarterback draft they've seen in many years.
Guys just Shador's going to get 1. Last year, he's probably, 4th?
Next to Caleb was the prize last year.
I know. And
so was Jaden.
Jaden was as well. Drake May was pretty damn good last year. He came up hardcore. J.J. McCarthy was the reach. And then Penix at 9 was crazy.
That's still something that you look at Atlanta and maybe they were onto something because
he looks pretty good when he got in the game.
Kirk doesn't look that good.
Yeah, but this is midseason Kirk. But we've seen this.
What happens to Kirk Cousins?
We've seen this for
where
years.
It's like week 8, 9, and 10 come around and he's garbage.
We've seen this every year.
Horrible.
I know it's odd. It's so odd.
You kind of hate to see it, but you kind of like it's par for.
No, he's all right. He's from Barrington and he made $200 million in his career.
He's good for him. He's a good Christian boy. His wife shops for him at Kohl's. Let the boy be bad in week 9. All right. So I look at moving forward.
How many do we got? Let's do this.
I'm going to say 3.5. I'm going to go full.
We have Shador.
3.5.
We have probably Jalen Milroe. We have Cam Ward. Anybody else? Who's the reach here? I mean, we got
Quinn
a lot.
Ewers.
Quinn, duh. He'll probably get drafted.
100%.
He'll probably get drafted first round. And then is there a fifth somewhere?
And the reason why
is there a fifth somewhere? Do we get like a...
The reason why I bring this up, Quinn Ewers is a guy who people lose their mind for how they lost their mind for Danny Dimes. Because pro-style guy, great completion
but
percentage.
He plays at Texas, not Duke.
Correct, I get it, but Texas was a part of the Big 12 for how long? So they're recently a part of the SEC, and just this year have become very good. So now I don't fully believe that he is better than a Shedeur or Cam Ward.
I don't think he is.
I believe he's that third guy that you look at. And then another guy, if he goes on and makes it to the semifinal, like Oregon, you could see Dylan Gabriel be that Bo Nix thought process.
Carson Beck. I don't think he should.
Carson Beck's day 2 all day.
Feels like it, right?
He's a day 2 guy.
He wears too much eye black or whatever you call it. I was going to call it
another
face
guy
paint.
you could see people.
He acts like it's face paint. Actually, he wears too much face paint.
You could look at also a guy like Jackson Dart people reaching for because he's athletic and he likes to throw the ball a lot. Yeah. Remember when everybody was losing their mind over the other Ole Miss quarterback 3 or 4 years ago? Oh my God, he's not even in the league anymore. He's played in the XFL for the past 2 years. I forget his name. We have computers in front of us. Let's use computers.
Okay, former Ole Miss quarterback. Who are we? Chad Kelly?
Nope.
Mark Brunell. Eli Manning.
Matt Corral.
Oh,
the Matt Corral.
Draft
that he got drafted in.
I'm glad I remember that Chad Kelly played
second round, early second round, potentially late first, depending on how much people want to reach for their quote guy. Because let's not forget, a lovely team by the name of the Chicago Bears.
He was a third rounder.
Drafted Mitch Trubisky and actually traded up from pick 3 to pick 2 to take Mitch Trubisky. When you could have taken Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson.
All right. Revisionist history would have ruined it.
Okay.
But Drake May looks good, so maybe it's not a UNC thing, and maybe it's a Bears thing.
About where Mike was right and where Mike was wrong?
Yes, I would love that.
All right. Mike was right. Kansas is a pretty good fucking team.
They were much better than we were talking about last week, for sure.
Vince was dogging Kansas, saying they're not this, they're not this, they're not that.
You were acting like they were like amazing. And I was like, I think Colorado's better. I don't think Colorado's better any longer because Kansas dog walked them all the way to the end of the game.
What does Mike do? Doesn't follow his own advice. Doesn't even follow his own advice and just takes him.
Yeah.
I should have just taken him straight up money line and let's see what happens.
Hindsight's
probably just would have been easy money in the pocket. Didn't do that.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about where Mike was
wrong. Yeah.
BYU.
I appreciate the accountability.
BYU.
Yes.
Not very good at football.
They're pretty bad.
Vince spelled it out beautifully last weekend. They've got 2 really big wins last minute. And then this week,
It felt.
Yeah, it did. And they went into Arizona, and they didn't get pushed around. But that first half of that game, they did not show up. They happened to show up in the second half, but it wasn't enough.
Well, also, no disrespect to Arizona State, because Arizona State has played pretty well this year. But, they dominate UCF. Close game against Oklahoma State. Utah, it's a 1-point game. Kansas beats them. Arizona State beats them. This is like whatever that graph looks like about playoff hopes. It goes, do. You're like, 6. Just fell off a cliff.
Now, when we look at
it's so done
for the Big 12, I would like to remind everybody that Arizona State is the favorite to win the Big 12 as it sits right now. They're ranked 21st.
Yep.
And they may be a team that could surprise a lot. So they already have. And I thought Kansas State was it for the longest time. Everybody was saying Colorado this, BYU. I was even saying BYU. But they need to go into, not Tempe, but they need to go into Tucson on Saturday and walk with Arizona and win this trophy for the great state of Arizona.
They get to the playoff, they lose for sure.
Hey, let's not talk about that. All right. So, USC, just to wrap it up, Jaden Mayava, thank you for an awesome comeback win. And college football is about to get to the most exciting time of the season. It just always goes by too fast. When you start itching Christmas, this is a sad time of life in general. Why does it go so fast? So much fun.
Because it's our favorite time of the year.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. And then the last game of the season, what do you get? You get Navy Army.
Which would have been cool until Notre Dame came through and took big old poops on both of them and proved that they weren't good.
Which none of them are going to be playing.
I hope for you this season, Mike, to finish the year 500.
Thanks, bud.
You're welcome.
What are your favorite matchups moving into this upcoming week? I know we touched on it a little bit.
We got a lot of football coming up. We don't have a lot of great football this weekend. We have a couple. This should have been great, except Jim Harbaugh left game. Ohio State's about to ruin Michigan's weekend and maybe the next 3 years.
Any upset alerts? Any games you look at on the calendar where you're like, ooh.
Everything feels
that
like
could be
it's
an
upset.
Everything
feels
I have a couple games that are sticking out of my mind.
Okay.
What are some of your favorites?
Like I said, everything feels like an upset. Like, I could see Arizona being Arizona State this weekend.
I don't know about that.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I could see it. I could see Houston beating BYU. I can't see Washington beating Oregon. A&M could beat Texas.
That's a real thing.
Not likely, but it could happen. Like, Kansas State could be Iowa State because no one knows who's better. Like, at this point, anything is possible, and I wouldn't be surprised by anything.
I have 2 games on upset alert.
Yep.
Are we ready for this?
Yep.
Okay. I think Kansas State has a real opportunity to go to Iowa State to play spoiler.
Sure.
Because Kansas State is pissed. I feel as if they're a team that thought they had a better opportunity to be far more than what they have become this season. And I feel as if that game I'm circling on my calendar, which is a night game on Saturday, which we're all going to be a little sleepy and full, and all of those things from the travel.
They're more talented than
and the holiday. Sure. Yes, they're far more talented than they're ranked, and Iowa State is playing good right now, but not that great.
Yeah.
So I feel as if they could play spoiler to an Iowa State team because that game actually may be leverage for them to sneak into a Big 12 championship. So like that. I also really do like Vince's pick of Texas A&M playing spoiler to Texas because Texas has to go to Kyle Field, and that's a difficult place to play football.
Can I give you something spicy right now?
Give me something spicy.
Looking at their last couple games, looking at their record,
give me
spicy. We're looking at another 6-5 team playing a ranked team this weekend.
Okay,
and they've played pretty well against Pitt. They played pretty well against Miami, almost beating Miami. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying that California could do something silly to SMU this week.
Wait, you're saying the Cal Bears
I'm just saying.
are going to go to Southern Methodist University, buddy, and play spoiler?
I'm saying it's certainly possible, and I'm saying they play teams closely, and SMU's been a silly little team this year, and they usually get away with it. But why not leave it to the last weekend of the year for the Cal Bears to come in there and get their 7th win of the season? I'm not saying it will happen, but I am saying that I might throw like $5 on that.
That's an interesting
sprinkle. Tiny little unit on that. Yeah.
My final game that I'm really liking, potential spoiler, and for them to be on the road, and this is what they've done really all season. South Carolina and walk into Clemson and say, hey, we're here to win Saturday.
That's a pretty base matchup, though. I feel like either of them winning wouldn't be crazy. Like, what are they, 17-18? Yeah, they're 17-18.
I understand it, but I mean, Clemson at home is Clemson at home.
But Clemson's also been falling off a cliff at the end of the year this year. That's another team that I felt was a fraud and it actually worked out. I've called 15 teams frauds this year, and like 4 of them are right. So I'll take that. That's good returns.
And then my final upset alert, which we have bet on. USC at home, upset alert, Notre Dame.
Now you're too confident.
Just saying. It's
now you're
plausible.
Too confident, and now I am sure that it won't happen. So,
well, that's better for you if it does.
Golden Domes, go ahead and win this. Go to the playoff.
What's your score prediction
for that game?
Final
for USC versus Notre Dame.
What's your score prediction?
If you want USC to win, then Notre Dame can't score. That's kind of how I feel. I think Notre Dame is going to score. I think that.
So we're saying the over or the under on the total?
Well, I think the number's probably going to be adjusted for decent defense. -3 on the spread. I think we're talking 35 to 27, 35-23 maybe.
Okay. All right. 24-21 in a dogfight. It's going to go down to one of the last two possessions. And I'm not going to pick who's going to win because I really don't have a clue.
Yeah.
But it's going to be closer than we all assume. That's college football.
Fucking better be Notre Dame.
All right.
Basketball is going on right now. Beginning of the season. NBA Cup. Crazy looking courts. I don't love them visually. Have you seen any of them?
Yeah, they're fucking weird. But
They're
yeah,
weird.
I'm in. I'm in.
The all red. A lot of discourse about if this NBA Cup, the in-season tournament, is worth it at all. What does it mean?
It's worth it? What does it mean?
It means nothing, but it's cool because no one cares about the NBA in the beginning of the year. So I think, honestly, it's fine. It does its job. It's kind of fun. A little around the league recap because, I mean, I did the same thing last week, but it was just me by myself. But around the league recap, Cavaliers can't stop winning. Celtics can't stop winning. Bulls are in 10th like usual the last 4 years.
They'll probably make the play-in.
Golden State Warriors are really good.
Yeah, they usually do that too.
And the Lakers go from like 1-5 to 10-6. Couple other things too. The Detroit Pistons are better than they were. I think last year they got like 20 wins.
Yeah.
And they're already about halfway to matching that. So they're better. The Hornets benched LaMelo Ball at the end of the game, ruined a lot of people's bets. So betting early season NBA is hellfire.
Diabolical.
One thing I did see, the sports books are getting testy. And by the sports books, I mean the NBA stat committee that gives all those out 2 different times. There was an Evan Mobley block that didn't get counted, and there was video evidence of him getting a block that ruined I think 80 or 85 people's different parlays that they had going on. And I'm just saying.
Did they write it? Did they write the ship?
They wrote the ship after it was talked about. It was 2 days after something
So
like
the
that.
internet's actually effective.
Yeah, in that way, but also, fuck you guys, dude. This has been a year where, especially in the NFL too, we're going to get to that in a moment, but the sportsbooks have lost a couple weeks, and it's very odd because after that, the sportsbooks end up winning 2 times more. So if you are betting on the NBA, it might behoove you to check on it more often than just being like, I'm going to throw this in and hope for a wish and a prayer. And check on it to make sure it's a little bit better than what you thought it was going to be. That's my 2 cents. And that's NBA, baby. Also, Blackhawks not good. Blackhawks young. Blackhawks hopefully going to get somebody pretty good this year and be better next year. Hockey's going on as well. NFL, Mike?
Well, time out.
Okay, yeah.
Why is it so difficult to watch those sports in the city of Chicago? I have spoke to numerous people, local Chicagoans, who are incredibly upset with the fact that they have to buy a flippin' antenna in order to watch the Bulls and the Blackhawks.
Oh, it's bullshit.
What in the fuck are we doing? What
bullshit.
in 1998 are we doing?
Yeah.
I just caught a random guy at Benny's the other day, and he was wearing his Bears shirt, loud and proud.
Yeah.
And I said, there's a guy I just want to strike up a conversation with for the fuck of it because I love my people, right? So I talked to him. I said, the Bears could make us sadder. He goes, I'll be there on Sunday. This Caleb kid looks great. I just have no idea why the hell I need to buy an antenna to watch the Bulls and the Blackhawks because I really love both teams, but I can't even get it. I live out here in Wayne, and I can't get the games.
Well,
I'm like, Bob, I don't know what to tell you, but
that's
get a super box.
One reason and one reason only. Jerry Reinsdorf,
worst person ever,
is the worst, and everybody hates him. There is a deal right now that they're talking about with the NBA where it's an all rights exclusive thing for all 30 teams, where you'll be able to watch all 30 teams within an NBA contract outside of the team's individual contracts. We'll see if that happens. I don't know if that's good or it's bad. but there is a conversation about that happening.
Aren't there also conversations that will happen with the MLB as well?
It should, because Bally went bankrupt and took out half of the team's broadcast.
So, is it fair to the teams, or is it unfair for the teams for the league to take over the broadcast?
Well, Mike, this is
money.
This is state versus country, baby. We're talking. This is American government brought into a small subsect of people where it's team versus league. I believe it should be independent, but I also think some of these owners are huge crocs of corporate bullshit.
That's true.
Jerry Reinsdorf. So,
Jerry Reinsdorf.
depends on what you want to do. You want to let a couple bad seeds end up giving the league all the power? Don't know if that's great, because Adam Silver does look like an evil little dictator.
So does Rob Manfred now.
Yes, but outside of that, take all the power from Jerry away. I like that.
But then you got teams like the Yankees and the Dodgers who are trying, and then the Cubs as well, which were, a stone's throw away.
Marquee Network is bullshit too, though.
The Marquee Network's also terrible, but at least there's a platform for it.
You can at least watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, you could at least watch that platform.
Do you know why the Cubs got big?
Drunk day games and pretty blonde girls?
No.
Oh.
The Cubs got popular nationwide because of WGN.
WGN.
And they would broadcast all over the country, so more people were able to watch it than any other team.
This is
similar
true.
to how the Braves were.
And
now the Cubs are one of the hardest teams to watch in the entire MLB. Why would you do that?
So, fun Mike random fact.
Oh,
I met Kurt Busch once at SEMA Auto Show.
That name means nothing to me.
Well, Kurt Busch, for those of my
Kyle Busch's brother?
Kyle Busch's big brother, buddy.
Oh.
They're both from Las Vegas. I had a 10-minute conversation with Kurt Busch about racing, which he doesn't talk like that at all. He's from Las Vegas. He's like, I'm originally from Vegas. You're from Chicago? I said, yes. He said, I'm a huge Cub fan. I said, why is that? He's like, well, we don't have a baseball team, and WGN, to Vince's point.
Yep.
So bring back national broadcast, because the people just want what the people want.
So would you prefer Kyle's Busch or Kurt's Busch? Neither?
Well, that's a difficult topic. Kurt Busch is the cooler of the two.
Well, who do you think takes care of it better?
Meeting Kurt? Better looking brother, so I'm going to say him.
Kurt probably takes care of his Busch a little
Probably a better Busch.
This is a Kurt Busch podcast.
Probably a better Busch. All right, let's talk about football.
Football!
All right, football. Okay.
Da Bears.
Let's get into it. Let's do it right away.
Also, call this number.
312-725. Don't remember the last 4 digits.
Call this number. It's right there. I just put it right there. I'm pointing at it.
There it is.
Call it. Air it out. Air it out right now. I'm actually going to figure out.
312 because we're from Chicago.
I forget that the majority of the people listen to this on audio.
We tell them like twice a week, so it's fine.
Please do. We want to get more. We love doing the air it outs. We think they're very fun.
We want to hear your beautiful voices on the podcast.
So call it, and we won't gambling shame you anymore, I swear.
We won't gambling shame you unless you do something egregiously dumb. Then you opened yourself up for that.
We'll just be like, don't be dumb. Yeah.
Just don't be a silly boy.
But please do it.
Or gal, for that matter. Because you could, or whatever. It's fine. What I'd like to start this NFL segment with is
312-725-2107.
I was close.
312-725-2107. Call it.
312-725. What are those last 4 digits?
2107.
Oh. All right.
Oh.
So let's talk about this really fast. Before we get started with our Bears therapy session of the week, because we've been doing a lot of these.
Yeah.
The Bears, a test of the blocked field goal where they said that their long snapper got touched, was told that it was legal. They claimed illegal, not legal, but the NFL came back and said it's as legal as they come. No charges will come to those Packers. Now, I do believe that's a smidge of baloney, considering in Arizona, that was not the case.
If the long snapper is looking down when they snap and they touch him, it's illegal.
It's illegal.
That's been the rule.
He can't hit.
Right. And also, making that judgment call
for that price, he cannot hit.
A split second, it's like a 2-3 second thing to make a judgment call. Be like, well, very specifically, they called it correctly. Obviously, it's dumb. Also, what I said last week, who cares that you're contesting it now? it's already over. They're not going to change it. So it's already over. Like, regardless, whatever. I don't have a lot of hope for the Bears anyway.
Hey guys, to all our Bears fans out there, don't go chase waterfalls.
You want to know what's cool, though, about the Chicago Bears? And by the cool, I mean brutally, brutally, brutally hard to follow. Is they're really good at making you give up and then believe, and then give up again, and then believe. And then at the end, you're heartbroken because you believed again. They're really, really good at that. And this happened again this week, Mike.
I have a quote.
Please.
From the Reverend himself.
From me.
Yeah, they're so good at being bad and giving a little hope and still being really bad. So, there is a quote from Reverend Vincent himself, who was present at a wedding this weekend.
Yeah.
And got his mic out of a difficult pickle.
Yeah.
We were like Sandlot. Now,
they're really good at being bad and then being good and then being bad again.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about the bright spots, because this is what you do in the weekly Bears therapy session.
Caleb was good.
Caleb's really good.
Yeah, Caleb was good.
Good at football, doing things on the field that you look at that guy and you say, yep, that's going to be a guy. He's going to be something. We don't know when, but he's going to be something, because he shows you the flashes. Not Dan flashes, but the flashes. He shows you that he's capable of doing what everybody calls Mahomes-esque plays that he was doing at USC and also doing at OU at the next level. Now, he also has some rookie mistakes that definitely occur on a weekly basis, holding onto the ball too long being rule number one. So if I continue now to break down the tape of Caleb, he has brought this team within a score of winning on 3 separate games that literally tear your heart out of your chest as a fan. But I think overall, this is good for us. Do you feel like that, Vince? Because I kind of feel like that. It's good for us. This is good for us.
We need to lose games so we can fire our coach.
Yeah.
If we win a bunch of games and we get hot at the end of the season and we win a bunch of games that shouldn't matter, and then we stumble into almost making the playoffs and be like, we made progress. No, we didn't. There's no reason we should have ever been in that game. We were so bad in the middle of the game that there's no reason we should have been able to do it. We could not run the ball. A couple things went our way. We got that kind of BS onside kick that bounced off of him, because that onside kick wouldn't account either way, because it just didn't go far enough, and then it touched the Minnesota guy, and then we picked it up. All that was cool, very exciting. This is what I'm saying. They're really good at being bad and then being good and then being bad again and making you hope, because that's the thing. If they're just bad and they lose the game, similar to how the Patriots game was, we weren't going to win that regardless. This was the definition of bad, good, bad, good, bad, good. It's like that Michael Scott meme when he's talking about getting vasectomies. He's like, snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. That's all they're doing to us. They're just like, oh, bring it back. Now you can have babies again. Now you can't have babies again. That's how I feel watching the Bears. It's just like, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm sad. Maybe they got something, maybe they don't. Over and over again. This was good. They stay close.
I would like everybody to understand that Caleb Williams is 2 300-yard passing games away from being one of the only rookie quarterbacks in the modern era of NFL football to do such a thing.
He broke
really
the Bears rookie record as well. So,
well, there you go. Hey, for whatever that.
I don't think he's bad. I think Thomas Brown. I keep saying Davis. Thomas Brown is a much better play caller. Simplified the playbook considerably for him, and it's showing up on the stat sheet.
I don't know if it's necessarily simplified. I just think it's more so fitting to what Caleb does well.
I think it's less plays.
Well, I think that helps.
They're not calling all these psycho one-time-a-game plays. It doesn't make any sense. Set up properly. There's a couple throws that were darts. There was one that was double covered on Keenan Allen, and he just diced in between. Probably not a good call, but it was a beautiful throw. Then also rolling out and just kind of throwing that little dangler, shaky ball to DeAndre Swift on the sideline was poetry in motion.
That and then hurtling over defensive linemen on the ground and running for a first down. Truly great. Willing your team back into field goal range after getting an onside kick on the first play, throwing an absolute dart to DJ Moore over the middle in a very small window. Very impressive and also encouraging. Now, can we pull it out at the end? No. The defense of this team is supposed to be your lifeblood and your team side of the football of the team that is supposed to pull you out.
They're not the reason we lost in overtime.
I mean, they could have
bad offensive play calls. He shouldn't have gotten sacked in overtime.
Well, he also should have held on the football.
That was rookie mistake.
That's a rookie mistake
for sure. They're not the full reason we lost in overtime. The Vikings are pretty good.
The Vikings are pretty good at football. Yeah. I think we've broken that down. Now, one thing I'd also like to bring up, do we think that it's wise of the Chicago Bears at this stage of the game to say maybe we fire Flus, give Thomas Brown an opportunity to coach?
Say mid-season?
Yeah, fire him right now. Give Thomas Brown, maybe he's a candidate, give him a shot to run his show.
I saw that he was a candidate. I don't think he's a candidate. I don't think it matters if we think it's wise because they're not going to do it. Yeah. They've never done it, and they're not going to do it now. They've literally never fired a coach in the middle of the season. They won't do it now. They'll give him to the end of the year. They'll get rid of him. Another person that comes in, coaches the Bears, gets a quarterback, swaps it, blah, blah, blah. I do feel like this is different because I feel like the majority of the coaches would have taken Caleb Williams last year. The roster is much better, but this team is coached like doggy doo-doo, clearly, because any sign of trouble and it's run for the hills, you're better than this, self-respect, that kind of shit. You don't need it. We're beating a dead horse. It's the same thing over and over again.
So projections, Eberflus is in fact fired at the end of the year.
He has to be, but I'm not 100% sure they're going to do it. They have to. They should do it, but the McCaskies can do anything and I won't be surprised.
It's sad. Either way, if you look at the gaps of the coaching this week, they just basically said, take away Justin Jefferson, and what happened? Jordan
There's
Addison.
A guy named Jordan Addison that lines
really
up on the other side of the field.
Really good at football.
He's really good too.
Really good at football.
But they took away Justin Jefferson, and then Jordan Addison had his career game. So at least we're playing the Lions on Thanksgiving, so that should be easy, right?
Well, we do, in hindsight, play the Lions pretty well.
Yeah, with Fields.
Well, it doesn't matter. I think we're just going to play. Caleb hasn't had a shot.
Yeah, the Lions aren't even that good. You're right.
Could we be spoilers, though? They were really good last year.
I'm sure we can
were
because it's the old adage that you're not as bad as you were last week and you're not as good as you were last week.
I want to believe.
The NFL is that way. NFL is more so like this in colleges. Every team is better than they were last week, and they're also worse than they were last week. If you had your worst game of the season, you're not as bad as you looked. If you had your best game of the season, you're not as good as you looked. That's consistent. Everybody's getting paid to play.
Different, but same. Same, but different. Okay, that's what Vince is getting at.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody, there's a median line, and everybody touches it at a point or another.
What I'm just confused about is why is Caleb Williams your leading rusher in this game?
Because they couldn't run the ball. Because
why?
They just brought pressure every single play, and he tried to bounce it outside, and he got tackled in the back, and there wasn't a lot of good run plays called. There's a lot of good pass plays.
Why does Roschon Johnson have 2 carries on the game?
Roschon Johnson, we weren't on the goal line a lot in the game.
Doesn't matter. He's a beater and a banger. Put him in the game. Let's go old school for a little bit.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to play him as a beater and a banger more than he actually is. If I'm being
That's a fair statement. Vince, your final thoughts on our lovely team that gives us
we play the Lions on Thanksgiving. Don't let it bum you out because they're the first game playing. That's my thing.
Do we like pain?
Any certain type of pain?
It's like sometimes you miss that pain.
You ever heard, I think it's Silicon Valley by Anderson .Paak, where they do like the recordings of like an interview in the beginning of it, and it's like, do you like pain? And then the guy's like, any certain type of pain? He's like, I like all types of pain. And then it goes into it.
We like this type
We're
of pain.
masochists when it comes to sports, baby.
Masochist fans, a.k.a. the Bears. Now, let's get into our weekly picks. Vince, congratulations.
Okay,
He didn't even pick him. The fucking 1 week you should have picked him. He doesn't pick him.
I know, it's because I picked him the week before and it was bad. Yeah, a little victory tour for right now because it's not going to be this way at the end of the year. I'm officially up 1 game.
Not going to last long.
I'm officially up one game. It hasn't happened in a while. This
Mike's
is for the OGs.
ship.
This is for the people that
Mike's
rooted for me silently in the catacombs. I'm up one game right now, and I am happy about it, and I'm hoping to continue that.
It's catacomb or not. Whatever the fuck.
Hey, buddy.
Hey,
catacomb or not, dude.
Using big words, automatically offended. First and foremost, what I'm going to get to is Mike shows that this happens once or twice a year. And then he writes the ship. So I'm going to write the ship.
All right.
I hope all of you are aware of it. And just keep the faith, as Billy Joel once said.
We'll see.
Insane. So let's start with this lovely snow game.
Jameis!
Vince loves him some Jameis.
It was so fun, dude.
He has now become a meme of the Lord blessed him with the opportunity to play in the snow. And that is my Jameis impression. So there you have it. And
that was pretty good, to be
honest. He did play very well. And this game was a
18 for
dogfight.
27 in a winter storm is fucking good, dude. And Russell Wilson played pretty well, too. Overall.
Hey, dangerous. Dangerous. Hey, be careful.
He's
spicy. This was a decent game. I didn't really get a chance to watch the whole thing. There was a lot of snow on the ground towards the end. Nick Chubb, welcome back to the NFL.
Yeah, he's good. Score touchdowns, what you want.
2 touchdowns.
My one takeaway from this, it feels like it was so long ago. Which kind of was a week ago. If they put a dome in Cleveland, just like that they want to put a dome here, I would like the Bears to have a dome, yes, probably. But also that would make me really sad. Because this was so much fun.
It was a good time.
And snow football is so fun. And like we posted, I think I posted it on the podcast, like Instagram. Like, look at this. This is beauty. NFL is beauty.
This is what the NFL is truly all about when you really break it down, and what the history of the Cleveland Browns mean to the NFL and the Steelers as well. And also the Bears and Vikings.
It's so AFC North. It's so NFC North. It's so like, yeah.
It's what the realism of
doggy dog, run
about.
The ball, play defense.
It's a fucking realism. That, it's why you watch it.
Yeah. And yeah, that's my biggest takeaway. And also, the Browns are better than they were last week and not as good as they were this week.
Does Kevin Stefanski want a job in Chicago?
He's such a good coach in a bad situation. We have more of those right now than we've ever had in the NFL. Good coaches, bad situations.
Hypothetically, if Kevin Stefanski is the head coach of the Chicago Bears, what is the outcome at this stage of the game? Are we better than what we are right now?
We should be.
Well, just hypotheticals. Are we 6-4? What are we?
I mean, I think there's no way to prove this regardless.
No, of course not.
I think we get 2 to 3 more games.
Are we 7-4 or are we closer to the 6-7 mark? Or flip that around. My bad.
So what? 7-6?
7-4. Yeah,
I think. 7-6. Yeah, I think. Is Eberflus the worst coach in the NFL?
Probably.
Let's think about that.
He's not
actively.
Good. He's not good.
I mean, the worst teams in the league. You got Antonio Pierce. He hasn't looked very good, but who really knows?
Not good.
The worst thing with it is statistics on head coaches right now, and Eberflus' statistics are all bad.
All of them.
Like the team wins despite him.
Yeah, and he doesn't have winning records on the road.
Or he's never won a road game on a Sunday. So
that's just hypotheticals. Because
let's get to that first. Texans frauds. Tell me why they're not, Mike.
Man, the sophomore slump is real with some guys, and C.J. Stroud may not be the best of the grouping right now from that draft class.
They're 7-5, but they don't feel 7-5.
Well, I feel like they're missing Stephon Diggs. I also feel like they're missing, Nico Collins is back, but I still don't feel like he's playing at 100.
He's not the Nico Collins.
That defense was supposed to be so much better than what it is, and it's just not there. Danielle Hunter was supposed to make a big difference. He can't stay on the field. There's a lot of things to break in here, but hey, Will Levis.
You could say Will Levis. I will say Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Tony Pollard's always
Tony Pollard. Yeah, but he didn't play as well as he wanted to in Dallas last year. And the beginning of the year in Tennessee was not very good for him either. And if you look at his season stats now, he's like sneakily a top 10 rusher in the league this year. Sneaky guy. Pretty good. Will Levis just don't make mistakes. Will Levis is better than Mason Rudolph. I don't care what they say. He just is.
I don't know about. I'm not there, but
He's not okay. He's not good. He's better than Mason Rudolph.
Do the Titans take a look at Danny Dimes out there? Maybe they feel as if
Danny Dimes wants to go to contender.
And just sit there and
Danny Dimes might be the backup for the Baltimore Ravens in about 2 days. We'll see what happens.
Good. I hope it works for him.
Yeah.
But either way, Titans.
He is White Lamar. I don't know about all that. He's just fast. He's just fast.
Cowboys. Talk about another team. You weren't picking them to win, but that happened.
Remember when we did this whole Cliff Kingsbury breakdown last week?
Wow. I think it's real.
Guys, hey guys, it's me, Vince, talking about late season Cliff Kingsbury.
Where Vince was right.
You want to know who struggled a lot in this game, Mike? Young quarterback.
Yeah,
you want to know who struggled a lot too? Washington Commanders offense. I want to remind you that the Dallas Cowboys are really, really bad. They're a bad team this year. Ezekiel Elliott can't run the ball, and their starting quarterback tore his ACL or his meat fell off the bone. Delicious injury. Cooper Rush is starting as the quarterback. The Cowboys aren't very good, and the Dan Quinn defense didn't look good. They kind of came back at the end. And then this is bear shit. They went through some bear shit. Sick ass play, field goal missed, kickoff kicked, fumbled by I forgot his first name, but Turpin.
Doesn't matter.
Turpin. Fumbled, grabs it, Madden spin move. Full spin move, like 3 feet in front of him, just left the guy for dust and took off and just ended it. That's the way the Bears lose games.
You know what? In a weird way, is it kind of great that they lost that way because they deserved one because they got one.
They got one on us.
Can we get one? Maybe this is our week. Maybe Turkey Day in Motor City is our week.
The Commanders are and the whole Washington franchise as a whole, is tortured like the Bears are. In the last 20 years. In the last 20 years.
We are truly tortured.
In the last 20 years.
Not quite like us.
What do you mean? They've been just as bad as we've been for the last 20 years.
Yeah, but they haven't gotten their heart torn out of their chest.
Yeah, they have.
Oh, yeah, RG3.
Yeah.
You could say RG3.
Really bad.
Yeah.
We haven't even had a guy like RG3 and then have him. He was the Derrick Rose of the NFL.
Then not only that, but 3 separate head coaches go on to do great things.
No, dude. The entire staff that they had with the Shanahans, McDaniel was there, McVay was there, Kyle Shanahan was there, Matt LaFleur was there. Their entire
Robert Saleh.
And what they landed on was Ron Rivera.
Hey, and you know what?
Chicago legend.
That might just happen next year. Okay.
So, yeah, they're just as tortured as we are.
The commies not so good. And
the commies are not as good as we thought they were, but they're also not as bad as
this helps our Caleb Williams better than Jaden Daniels take.
And it helps the Bo Nix for Rookie of the Year take.
Oh, Lord. If you bet that, good for you. All right, the Dolphins. Really good with Tua Tagovailoa. Let's just talk. That's it.
MVP?
That's all I got. Vince in semi-Dolphin colors?
I said this last week. MVP.
Oh, no. He's in. You don't know what he is. He looks.
I'm technically from the view. There's blue on the bottom, but I'm in Miami Hurricanes colors.
He is hurricaning it out. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Tua is the MVP. He's not the MVP of the league, but he's the most valuable player.
For the Dolphins.
He's the most important player. The Dolphins were so bad, and now they're good. This is week 3. Dolphins on a 3-game win streak because Tua's more important than anybody on that fucking team, and maybe more important of anybody on any team in the NFL. They are good with him. They are bad without him.
I'm not going to disagree.
It's 4 touchdowns.
Mike McDaniel needs his guy.
Skylar Thompson throw 4 touchdowns. They had to flip the whole offense for him.
Yeah, it's not going to work without Tua. Tua is their guy. He's shown that he's good when he's not doing silly tackles and trying to put himself at risk. So when you see it, you love to see it. Hopefully Tua has a long and established career. Now, another guy I'd like to point out here in the next game that we're going to get to, Bryce Young.
It ain't over.
Might have like the best car accident go in his favor ever?
It ain't over for him.
It's not. He looked wonderful.
He's
not bad at football.
small.
He's small. 21 to 35, 263 yards. Doesn't turn the football over. One passing touchdown.
He managed
Could
the
have had more. He managed the game very well.
He's so small.
He's very small.
He's tiny.
If they had a running back better than Chuba Hubbard, who's pretty good.
Hubbard's been nails this year.
OSU legend. I would say that this guy, he might be somebody. And I hope he does become
I don't
somebody.
think he's going to be number one pick worthy. But he's better than what he looked.
I think he could very well be a serviceable quarterback. He's not going to be Cam Newton, but he may surprise some people. He could be
Cam Newton's 6'5" and Bryce Young is
right.
like 4'11".
But he could be modern day Doug Flutie.
And also,
Doug Flutie was a small king too.
Yeah. Also, Kansas City Chiefs.
They always find a way.
They do that.
They find a way to win, people.
Oh.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Tommy DeVito.
Oh.
Didn't happen. Yeah, sorry about
Not good. Injured. Might play this week. We'll see. Drew Lock, I feel bad for you.
What if Drew Lock goes out and balls? I hope he does, because just the Jeezy thing, playing at Mizzou, being a guy, allegedly. Yeah. I kind of like him. Everybody thought his comp was Jay Cutler. It has not been Jay Cutler.
No.
But, John Elway falls in love with gunslingers, and usually that's going to be the play, and okay. But the Bucs are good at football, and if Mike Evans can get healthy at the right time,
he is. He's going right now.
This is going to potentially be something where the Bucs have a shot to win the NFC South, because I think
it's anybody's ball game, baby.
There's 3 teams right now in that division that you look at and you're like, this could be a thing.
Falcons. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Well, the Lions are also very good at football.
The Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions are the best team in football.
Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, who you picking to be the Bears head coach right now?
Neither of them would take a job with the McCaskies.
I disagree.
I would love that to be Ben Johnson. I would adore that. That's the guy I want. He's my Dable from 2 years ago. I would love it to be Ben Johnson. I don't think he wants to go to dysfunction like this. I think he would much rather coach with a guy or go to a different franchise that has more shit together than the Bears do. But Ben Johnson's the guy I want. I don't think they're going to get him because I'm trying to be more realistic about Chicago sports as a whole. It's realism. The Lions are the best team in the NFL.
I'm just pulling straws. We're seeing Vince's takes on each. Pulling straws. I got a guy.
Who do you think? Do you think
I would take Ben Johnson over anybody?
Me too, but do you think he would come to the Bears?
Yes. He wanted Caleb. There was a lot of people out there who knew he wanted the Chicago job.
I know, but it's also the Bears.
Well, they do stick to people too long, and I think we missed our window, and I think we're completely aware of it, and I don't think Poles fucks that up because his job will be on the line because of it.
Don't fuck it up 2 times.
Don't fuck it up 2 times. Now, the Broncos, Bo Nix, okay.
He's the best rookie quarterback.
Or he's in the best system that fits his abilities.
I don't know, Sean
Payton is maybe one of the best quarterback whisperers in National Football
Welcome
League
to
history.
Bad Take Central. I'm Vince, and I'm not going to say it's done. I am going to say it doesn't look good for me right now.
Where Vince was wrong.
It doesn't look good for me right now.
Sean Payton has a young Drew Brees that does all the things he does.
Pump the brakes.
Dude, Bo Nix's trajectory is that of a slightly worse Drew Brees.
We're 12 games in. We're 12 games into into the first season. Drew Brees is a Hall of Fame record-holding Super Bowl winning quarterback. Pump the brakes.
Okay.
Pump the brakes. Okay. But it's not looking good for me right now. But I'm not going to take that away. Gardner Minshew out for the season. Raiders getting Shador? Probably.
Yeah, I think Shador Sanders is just waiting now.
He's a Raider or a Cowboy, but the Cowboys changed up a lot.
Yeah.
Cardinals not good? I thought Cardinals were good.
I just think, here's my opinion, Kyler Murray just said, you know what? I am just going to completely laser focus in on my tight end, and they took away his tight end.
He's good, but not by himself.
Trey McBride, 12 receptions, 133 yards, no touchdowns. Yeah. It's just his pacifier, and he's really good at football, Trey McBride. Don't get me wrong. This game, difficult one. I don't know. I thought the Cardinals were hitting a smidge of a streak, but similar to the Chicago Bears, they make you think twice.
Maserati Marv on Bust Watch?
No shot. He's really good at football.
I think he is, but we'll see about that.
He's really good at football. All right, well, the 49ers not going to the playoffs this year.
Packers might win the Super Bowl, Mike.
I don't think the Packers are going to win.
They might.
No.
There's someone posted a tweet the other day.
Tweets.
And I was stricken by this at a level that I haven't been in a while. Comparing,
you were struck by
I was strucken.
You just said past tense. You just say struck. I don't know.
I was stricken.
Stricken.
The 2011 Packers and the 2024 Packers are very similar in a lot of ways, both by quarterback play and by wins and by defense efficiency. And the Packers are 8-3 right now, and they're going to play upset with somebody in the playoffs, just like they did last year. And I'm afraid the Packers are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
I don't think any team from the NFC North, minus the team by the name of the Lions, will win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but what team can beat the Lions in the NFC?
There's a fair amount of them right now.
Give me two.
The team we're about to talk about next being one of them.
Okay.
The Eagles.
Yeah.
I do believe they're very good at football. And, don't sleep on a team in the NFC South who could get hot late. Because
you think there's a better chance that the Buccaneers or the Falcons...
Did not say that.
What is the Saints then? Or the Panthers?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when you look at the landscape of the league at this moment in time...
There's two teams that can beat the Lions.
The Bears might beat them on Sunday, and then what is that?
No, in the playoffs. In the playoffs. There's two teams that can beat them, and it goes Philadelphia Eagles and Green Bay Packers.
Or the 49ers could
The 49ers cannot even make the playoffs anymore.
No, they're not.
They do it every year, but we're week 13.
They're not mathematically eliminated.
They're basically eliminated.
No,
and they didn't look good, and Debo looks slow.
There's still a second half of the season left. If they win out,
second half, dude,
it's plausible that they win out. If they go 11-6, and the top of the NFC West, which is plausible because the Rams aren't doing shit, and the Seahawks I don't think are who we think they are.
Cardinals are pretty good.
Yeah, but now you get a healthy team back. Bosa's out. You have some. Fred Warner's been iffy. Debo not playing at 100. No Brandon Ayuk.
That's my point. No one's playing well.
I get it, but now you get McCaffrey back. Now you get some people back. I think this team, once they get healthy, when you look at their strength of schedule not being greatest, there is an opportunity for them moving forward. Now you kind of go into their record and their opponents moving forward. You have the Bills going to Buffalo. Scary game.
They lose that game.
But then you have, after that, the Bears, Rams, Dolphins.
Rams is a toss-up. Lions, they lose. Dude. They're going to be probably 500.
Who would have thought the Titans were going to beat the Texans? That's all I'm saying.
They're going to be 500 at the end of the year, and they're not making the playoffs this year.
The Packers to win a Super Bowl is egregious.
They're 8-3.
Doesn't matter.
Why is it egregious? Because you don't want it to be?
Because I hate
them. Yeah, that's not.
I dislike them greatly. Hate's
Me
a strong
too.
word.
That's why I'm terrified.
I'm not terrified.
Dude, they almost went to the Super Bowl last year.
The Bears are going to play them again and potentially play spoiler. Just saying.
In Lambeau?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be the most, juicy thing ever.
Bears historically good in Lambeau in the last 20 years.
If this season ends on a Bears win in Lambeau, cold shit, if they do that, the season wasn't all a loss. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to happen, bud.
Just saying.
Yeah,
hey, crazier. It could happen.
Crazier things literally happen. All right. I don't think crazier things.
Here's a better scenario. If you're the Maras, do you sell the team first or go bet every draft pick to the Eagles that you own in the next decade to get Saquon Barkley back? Because the man had 253 total purpose yards.
So he saw Derrick Henry and he said, "Hold my beer." That's what happened this year.
Dude,
Saquon Barkley is
franchise record.
He's amazing. He's going to...
And it's not even...
He's putting up Adrian Peterson numbers.
Does he get 2,000 rushing records on the season and win the MVP?
What is he at?
Two questions.
What is he at?
1,326.
So far?
Minus, okay,
Wait,
you got
1,300. He said you got to have more, right? He was at 1,000 2 weeks ago, wasn't he?
1,326 rushing yards for the season.
That's hard. What, they got 5?
There's 8 games or 7 games.
7 games left.
I don't know if they have a bye, so very well could be 6.
Have they hit their bye?
So ultimately,
they did. No, they didn't because they played week 2.
Math would tell you he would need 100 yards in those games of rushing.
He was just going to hit every single week.
We'll see.
This is the year of running backs, different place, same pace.
Mm-hmm.
You like that? You like that wordplay right there?
That's good wordplay.
Saquon 1,392, Josh Jacobs 944, Derrick Henry 1,325. All 3 guys on different teams last year. All 3 guys said, "Fuck it, we ball."
And the Bears had a shot at Saquon.
They got DeAndre. He's not horrible. He's just
bad.
17th in the league.
Yeah. Well, the Eagles are really good at football and most likely going to win the NFC East.
Told you. I told you. I picked him to win the Super Bowl. Or I picked him to go to the Super Bowl, rather. So.
We'll see. I mean, hey, that means the Packers aren't going to make it happen. So I'm a happy guy, and I'm right. All right.
Baltimore.
John Harbaugh proved he's a better Harbaugh, and it all was in the second half.
Yeah. Don't know if he's the better Harbaugh overall, but it's pretty damning evidence.
Hey, it shows that Quentin Johnson can't hold on to footballs because
Quentin Johnson can.
What happened?
Previous he couldn't.
What happened?
Previous he couldn't. Now he can. But one time not very good.
I mean, that was a pretty critical moment.
Yeah,
Justin Herbert,
brutal.
I give it to him. He did not take that moment to throw his teammate under the bus.
Yeah. I think they're year 1 of a new experiment. Somebody's dying downstairs.
Someone's dying. We hope they're okay and can make it to their family Thanksgiving. All right,
That's football, baby.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, shall we talk about our weekly picks, Vince? Because we have them to make.
Yes, we do. We got a lot of silly games. First off, I don't forget, but every year you get Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving's great to watch football. Black Friday, good for the NFL. Good or bad?
I think it's a nice gap day.
I think there's a game.
It's a good day.
I hate it.
Because I never went shopping on Black Friday.
I know, but why is there an NFL game on a Friday?
I never thought it was fun to go out and shop for Christmas the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
or either I'm in a food coma or A, hungover.
Put a primo college game on Friday.
Or B, yeah, that too. I like that thought process. Which we will get like a MAC game on Friday, right? We do get one game on Friday.
Now we get Raiders Chiefs at 2 p.m.
Yeah, but the night game is college, so you get both. You get a double dip. You get double dip. You get Ole Miss and you get Mississippi State.
So. No. Leave the NFL to Sunday and Monday and Thursday.
Well, this is what Amazon does. They make it corporate, and then they say, hey, you could make money off watching these really bad teams play on Friday.
You know what my opinion is on that?
What? What if the Dolphins go into Lambeau Field and beat the beloved Packers for your Packers?
I would love that.
Okay.
Probably not going to happen.
Could happen. All right, let's talk about the Bears. Let's get a little preview.
Okay, yeah.
Let's talk.
Bears-Lions? What do we have to preview?
Bears-Lions, historically, we've played them very well. We've played them well specifically in Chicago.
Yes.
Jared Goff
the last
does not
2 years,
well against this defense. Now, Montez Sweat not playing at 100%, but Flu seems to have some good understanding.
Brisker's still out.
Brisker's still out. That concussion's been murder for him since it happened, and really terrible for our secondary because him and Kevin Byard seemingly were becoming a nice little 1-2 punch. And Kyler Gordon is really good at football and great at playing slot corner.
Oh, yeah, and then Jalen Johnson?
Yeah, Jalen Johnson did not have the greatest day. Stood his ground against maybe the best receiver in all football.
Did not have a great day, though. Every other game has been nails for him. So.
What I am truly perplexed by is the gameplay of Tyreek Stevenson. From year 1 to year 2, he has regressed. And after that game, why? Because of the hail-fail?
Yeah, and now he's all up in his feels, and now he's not getting it. I know, I agree. You know why it's happening. Should it happen? No, you're a professional, but that's why it's happening. It's stupid.
Well,
Get to work.
Get over it. But Bears-Lions, your predictions, Vince.
The Lions are going to win by 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
The Bears defense feels like it quit a little bit. The Lions have beaten every other team, it seems like, by 5 touchdowns. Bears play them well, so 2 touchdowns they win.
See, I think
the Lions are the best team in the NFL, dude.
Doesn't matter. Any given Sunday, I'm going to take, because the Bears have done this over the past 5 weeks. It's going to be a field goal game. Bears are going to lose. There you go.
So you're taking the Lions.
I'm taking the Lions, unfortunately. But it's going to be close. And going to be fun to watch while you're about to prepare your turkey.
I don't like that. I hate that, actually.
Oh, no, it's going to be another one.
On the contrary, I hate that because we're going to believe for a second, and I'm sick of that. And it keeps happening, so you're probably right.
Ready to be disappointed again. Here we go. Let's do it.
Rest of the slates.
All right. Giants at Cowboys.
Give me the boys.
You're taking the boys.
Yeah, the Giants suck.
Yeah, I'll also take the Cowboys because I need to play smart and safe. Yeah, give me the Cowboys.
Done.
All right, give me the Dolphins at the Packers. Vince.
Packers.
You're taking the Packers.
They're good.
I'm going to take the Dolphins because I feel like after a big win like that, after a conference opponent that you don't like that has beaten you in really close games and NFC championship games or division championship games, I feel like there could be a smidge of a hangover here.
Dolphins in Lambeau on Thanksgiving in 40-degree weather.
Let's do it. Tua has a game.
I hope. I'm with you. I hope
Tua
I'm
has a
here.
game. Give me the Dolphins. I got a feeling. Raiders at Chiefs.
Chiefs are going to win that game.
Give me the Chiefs
out
by 100.
Yeah.
And then the Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. No end in sight to this Trevor Lawrence injury. I don't know if he plays the rest of the season.
Texans are just going to
This is their get right game.
They're going to keep stumbling into the playoffs and be pretty good into it, but I still will not believe in them.
Give me the Texans as well. All right, Colts at Pats. Potential poopy bowl.
Oh, give me the Colts.
Give me the Pats because this is a get right game for the Pats.
Okay.
All right, Chargers at Falcons. Do the Falcons get off the schneid after a bye week?
Yeah.
And does Kirk Cousins play to the Kirk Cousins ability that we know he can be?
Kirk heats up. Give me the Falcons.
Ooh, okay. Give me the Chargers. I feel like after a emotional loss, they're going to go into Atlanta in a dome game, which they do play well in domes. And
is Harbaugh related to this coach?
No, he is not.
Got it.
All right, just saying it was emotional. Seahawks at Jets. J-E-T.
I think the Jets win this game.
Really?
I think the Seahawks won a silly game against the Cardinals last week. I think the Jets come off of a bye week, and Rodgers has something to prove so he can get a contract next year. I think the Jets win.
I don't think that happens. Give me the Seahawks. All right, now we got the Titans at the Commies. Titans pulling out a nail-biter at NRG Stadium.
For almost the same exact reason, I'm taking the Commanders.
Yeah, I think the same thing as well. Give me the Commies as well. Steelers at Bengals. Do the Bengals finally figure out a way to win a football game?
Nope, they're on full quit watch. Steelers win this game. They just lost last week for seemingly no reason against the Browns in shit bowl.
I am with that opinion. There's certain things we agree on and disagree on. I believe in that one. Cardinals at Vikings. Almost drop one in OT. Sam Darnold goes and plays a
this is difficult.
Is it?
Cardinals lose against the Seahawks. The Cardinals are actually pretty good. They're better than they thought they were. They're going to change up their offensive ability here. Vikings barely squeeze one by. I don't believe the Vikings are a team that's 9-3 at this point.
Nope.
I'm going to take the Cardinals.
Well, Vince, that's a bold option, but we'll see how it plays out for him. Mike's taking the Vikings because I believe what Kevin O'Connell's doing there in Minnesota. So the Rams and the Saints.
Rams.
All right, Rams. You think get off the schneid?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna lean against it. Give me the Saints just because I don't know how good the Rams are right now.
I don't know how good the Saints are, but
all right. Buccaneers at Panthers. Bucks playing really well right now.
You want to know who else is playing really well?
I mean, hey.
Yeah, but doesn't matter. The Bucks win this game.
Yeah, I'm going with that. Give me the Bucks.
I wanted to, but I can't.
We could deliberate. Now, maybe two of the best games of the weekend slot. These two games are going to be played on Sunday night. 2 back-to-back Sunday night games for this team. The 49ers play the Ravens in Baltimore. Vince, what is your thoughts?
49ers play the Ravens in Baltimore?
Oh, my bad. The Eagles play the Ravens
in
Baltimore.
This is a pick 'em. The Eagles are so hot right now. But they're in Baltimore, which kind of it could half season be a home game for Philly.
I don't know.
They're close. Geez, give me the Eagles.
Give me the Ravens.
Yeah.
Just simply due to the fact that I think that this is the win that they need. Their record does not indicate how good they are.
Yeah.
All right, now the 49ers at the Bills.
The Bills. The 49ers stink. Smelly. Stinky.
Yeah, give me the Bills. Josh Allen.
You sure? I thought they were about to go on a tear, Mike.
No, I like the Bills.
Okay.
All right, and then finally, Browns at Broncos. Vince, Jameis game. What are your thoughts?
They won by too much last week. Give me the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Broncos as well in this one. Give us the fresh-faced young QB who's almost 30.
He's not young. He's my age.
Exactly. So, everybody, this was a lot of fun. Couple two true rules of your holiday giving season. 1, don't get too drunk. It's not nobody likes drunk uncle, right? Nobody likes that guy.
True.
Don't do that.
Respectfully
tipsy, and don't wake up the next day absolutely just like you don't want to be there, right?
Yeah.
Also, if you have a goofy sibling that you don't necessarily enjoy their company all the time.
You're watching ball. You're watching ball with them.
Just happen to be there. Be thankful you're all together. Same thing with the goofy aunt or goofy uncle.
I have a request.
Yeah.
I know we do. It's the year of the siblings, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if you got a weird little cousin.
Yeah.
Maybe if you got an aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
That also watches. Maybe. I know we're talking siblings this year, but like.
You're a sibling.
You can let them know too.
You could let them know.
You can let them know.
Let them know. Yeah. So that's rule number 2. And then rule number 3. Just enjoy yourself. Be thankful for being with your family. Be thankful for the days that you get to spend together with all of them. And then not only that, be thankful that, we do this every week. And the boys were together this week. And we'll be back in the saddle next week. Happy Thanksgiving. We're thankful for all of you. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Talking Tales with Mike and Vince. Oh, you know, jazzy beats while we dispense. Yeah, you know.